All right, guys, the watch list for Thursday. ARWR had a. I have to zoom in here a little bit so you can see it better. Back here, about a week ago, he had a 5 million share day and a nice pop up. This line, I still left the line on the chart. That's where the pre-market high was that morning. You know what? It's come back down to support to the 20-day. Put in a green candle today. This doesn't look like something that's going to go crazy, or it's not near breakout. This looks more like a swing trade type entry. But it is interesting, up over like today's high over 758. Might be worth a look. CAPN, I had this, take today's candle out of it, I had this on watch today. I said, you know, it's down 4 or 5 days in a row. It had a really big move back to the 20-day near some support, and it gave a great bounce, and I'd love to tell you that we killed this in chat today, but one of our members, Ramesh, asked me about it when it looked like this. And I said, you know, I see what you're looking at. I think this one could get going, but it's just got no volume, and we're headed into lunchtime. So I can't really do anything with it. I mean, it had 10-cent spreads, and after those words of wisdom, here's what it did. Went from, like, he was looking for the 580 break, and it went to almost, a 730 something. So unbelievable trade that would have been, but I just couldn't get myself to call it because it had no volume and spread. So anyway, having said all that, I still think that now, after this kind of nice bounce, you know, for the next week or so, keep this one on watch. It could give some nice trades. It definitely gave a big move today. Ramesh was all over it, and I didn't do anything with it. And, it's just one of those deals. But I am going to have CAPN back on watch. ACAD. Now, this one, you know, I had typed out on StockTwits, I literally typed out this message to say that I bought a bunch of ACAD right before the close at 44.76 for a swing trade, because I just have a feeling about it, just trying to be a smart ass, because if you don't know, this is at 31.50 in after hours. So it's down all the way down to right about where my arrow is there. So that's why it's on watch. I thought that would be funny, and then I thought, you know what? There might be a lot of people that are really burned in this one. Maybe I shouldn't be making jokes. So I didn't post the post, but you just got to be on watch tomorrow. With this kind of crazy move here, and then this huge down move in after hours, I can probably slide this big chart that shows this actually has after hours on it. You can see what it did in after hours. So wow. I think it's on some sort of delay of a trial. Don't quote me on this. I just glanced at the news, and I think the CEO suddenly retiring too, or something. I don't know. None of it was well received, suffice it to say. So, but I do have to have anything with that kind of crazy moves lately. I want to have it on watch. I don't know if I'll trade it. Let me cancel that, and then let's go to the next one. NVGN. I had a small trade in this one today, and then it came right back down, and I'm back out flat. The rest made a few bucks on it, but it's still closed slightly above its open. If you go to like 30-minute candles, it doesn't look too bad. You had this huge gap up, nice support, right? Straight sideways, and then today it popped up, sold off, but then started to work its way and did close above its open. So I still think this one might get busy to the upside one of these days. So I'm going to have it on watch, and you could maybe argue that market weakness is what SPY another day where it closed near its lows. You could maybe argue that market weakness didn't help this at all. I can't type tonight. NVGN. So do want to have that one on watch. BITA, as I said in the last couple of videos, when things get ugly, I try to find stuff that's really been slammed, and this BITA was $75 just 4 or 5 sessions ago, and now it's down below 50. That's a big it's a big hit, and so I want to put this on bounce watch. And BIOS was on watch. Again, these are not bullish charts, but remember, I'm a day trader, so one of the things I populate my list with is stuff that's really beaten up that might give a nice bounce just on an intraday basis tomorrow. I am not an investor. I don't look at these charts and think, hey, these are some pretty charts to go long, but also they're oversold and we might get a bounce. So if I get a proper setup, I'll call it. If not, I won't touch them. STX. I want to watch this one again. It bounced off the trend line today. I put a video on Ticker TV, so I won't really go into the details here. Well, I'm going to talk about just a minute what we did in the chat today, but I made a video on it just to kind of explain it. But if you take today's candle out of it, if you remember last night, I said this is another one of those oversold and getting very close to a trend line. I said if the market bounces, this is a good candidate. Plus, SanDisk was gapping up and strong, at least at the time I called this trade. It's strong. It ended up going all the way back down to its lows. But anyway, STX down, like I said, almost $10 in a week and a half, and then coming into the trend line. Gave a great entry this morning. Look at that. Early sellers right into that trend line. We were buyers right at 53.63, I think, on that way back up. And literally within a couple minutes, we were up, 60 cents, something like that, and it ended up getting through the high of the day. I sold a chunk for 90-cent gain, and that couldn't have worked out much better. Now it's back on watch because it closed about where it opened, but you've got kind of a tail here. And and it's really respected and had some nice bounces off this trend line. So if there's some bounce in the market tomorrow, which you could argue we're overdue, this one might give a decent long setup. And if you go to 5-minute candles, after the trade, remember we grabbed it like here. It made that great move. As a day trader, that's what I'm looking for. And I didn't do anything with it throughout all of this. I was just done with it, right? But throughout all this, now it's got some nice consolidation and held above 54. So this is a candidate for another up move, a follow-through day on this bounce. So that's why it's back on the list. PEIX, had the breakout about a week ago. Today came back down, tested the breakout area and the 8-day and put in a green candle. Okay, I didn't do anything with it today, but it goes back on bounce watch for tomorrow, or long watch, whatever you want to call it. And then LL. This thing closed at 32.73. In after hours, it's at 33.65. So it's up here. So it's getting, well, if it were to open right now, you'd say it's gapping up a little bit. But I want to watch this one. 60s, you can kind of see, especially if you know that it's at 33.65 in after hours. You kind of have a little, kind of a cup and handle. And we get back up through 34. This could give a nice move. I think there was something out in after hours that somebody's saying the panic to the news is overdone, and there's only a small portion of their product that's got what I didn't even read the story. It's something with formaldehyde in their wood, and somebody on Twitter the other day made a great joke when LL was selling off pretty hard. They said, ironic that LL can't find a floor. Okay, that's flooring company anyway. I thought it was pretty funny, but I think it might be overdone, and if news does, circulate tomorrow that, that maybe it's not as big a deal, it's not a huge portion of their product, this one could squeeze because it's really beaten up. Shorts have been piling in, so it's a good candidate for a possible long tomorrow. All right, I'm going to leave my list at that. Hopefully we'll find some decent gap plays to play in the morning as well, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night.